So now it's time to present your webinar. Well, you may be nervous speaking in front of people. Yes, you're still running a webinar, there's no one actually sat in front of you, but you may still be nervous. So you're going to have to overcome that. Now, you may want to sit there and imagine that you're talking to your best friend, or you're just chatting to a group of friends in a bar or something like that, whatever it takes. You may be nervous. Don't let it show too much. Just be calm, be relaxed, and you'll be fine. Just don't worry about it. Make sure that you're organised beforehand. Make sure you know what you're going to talk about, and so on. All of this is going to obviously help you to feel less nervous. If you've got your structure, you know what you're going to talk about, it's all organised in front of you and ready to go, then obviously that's going to be a lot easier for you, because you're not then going to be worrying throughout your webinar of, oh dear, where's my notes, what am I covering next? So get yourself organised, maybe even rehearse it a couple of times beforehand. One thing that I can recommend is get there sort of 5-10 minutes early, when the doors open basically, and spend the time meeting and greeting basically. Chat to people, talk to them, take a few questions, but obviously ones that aren't related to the content of the program, but sort of use it as an opportunity to sort of start building a relationship with the people on there, breaking the ice a little, if you know what I mean, just making it a little bit easier for them to get to know you and understand. Now, I personally would recommend rehearsing the webinar a few times beforehand. Yeah, you may feel like a bit of an idiot sitting there talking to yourself, but it's gonna do you an awful lot of good, particularly if you're nervous presenting your webinar. If you're nervous, the rehearsals will make a huge difference. It really, really will. So I strongly recommend that you rehearse this. The rehearsals are basically going to help you to just get over your nerves. It's going to help you to be more confident presenting it and make sure that the structure flows. Now, you may have a good structure on your computer, you written down, you may have a structure and think, yeah, that sounds really great. But then when it actually comes to running it and listening to it, you may go, well, actually, it doesn't make sense when I go through, because I missed something. So rehearse it a few times to get the practice in, because then when you deliver it, it's going to feel very natural, it's going to feel very easy, and you're not going to struggle with it at all. Now, a lot of people in webinars will interview other people and they'll talk to experts. Now, if you're going to do that, make sure you have given them the questions beforehand and the structure, maybe even worked with them in order to get the webinar working well. Send them your proposed outline, get them to make sure that they're happy with it, maybe add to it if there's anything that they feel that can be added to it to make it any better. So they may come up with some ideas and say, well, yeah, you've done well, but one of the things that's important for this is whatever it might be. So just make sure that you're open to being flexible, and for your the person you're interviewing helping you out. They will help you out in 99% of cases. Of course, it's going to help them. So they might have previous experience of running these sort of webinars, so just use them as you can, but make sure they know what you're going to cover. Last thing you want is for an expert to turn up and sit and you go, right, we're going to cover this, then they go, right, okay, no, I'm not prepared for that. They need time to prepare and get themselves ready beforehand just as much as you do. When it comes to presenting it, follow your structure. Don't be tempted to deviate. If you've rehearsed it, you practiced it, you've thought about it, you've got the structure right, don't be tempted to deviate and go off on a tangent, because you're going to end up winding people up. It's going to confuse someone if you're interviewing them, and so on. Define when you're going to take questions right at the beginning, and literally only do them at that time. I found that it's usually best to leave questions and answers right to the end. It just avoids distractions. The last thing you want is to be stopping, every few minutes. You're delivering good content, and every few minutes you're stopping to answer some question. Now, if you see a question come up that's directly related to the content and will help in the greater understanding of it, by all means, answer it then and there. But if I'm busy talking about, my niche blogs and how to set them up, and someone's asking questions about FTP or some such thing, you don't want to worry too much about that. So think about when you're going to ask questions, but don't let it distract you or your listeners from your webinar content. People have come to hear this content, and if they find you sort of dancing around and getting distracted and talking about all sorts of other things, they're going to get a bit annoyed and fed up, to be really truthful with you. When it comes to presenting it, don't sort of slouch down. Sit or stand straight and be relaxed. The reason being, when you sit and stand straight, your voice projects a lot better and you're going to be more confident. If you're slouching down and you're scrunched up at a funny angle, it's not going to help. It's going to sound a bit peculiar. People aren't going to really know quite what you're talking about. So, sit up straight, stand up straight, whatever it might be, and it's going to help you both with your confidence and ensuring that your voice is the best quality possible. If there are any technical problems, and one day it's going to happen, don't panic. Quite simple. Stay calm. Just tell people just to wait one moment while you contact technical support, or if your power goes out or your computer reboots or something like that. When you go back in, just sort of apologise and say, I'm very sorry, the power went out, I don't quite know why, but I'm back now. If it happens again and I disappear, don't panic, I'll be back as soon as I can. So, just be calm, deal with it in your stride, and don't get sort of frustrated and worried. The instant you start getting angry or acting unprofessionally, it's going to impact how people think of you, and it's going to impact the professionalism of your webinar. If there's a facility for listeners to talk back to you, make sure that they're all muted. The last thing you want is for you to say something and all these people suddenly start trying to talk. Or if there is that facility, which on a lot of webinars there aren't, make sure that they are muted. Most of the time on webinars, the question facility is through a box that they enter. They type it in their browser basically, so there's no vocal abilities for them. Also have a definite end time in your mind. I think that's very important as well, and stick to it. Don't overrun too much. If you overrun by 5-10 minutes on the actual meet, not really a problem. As I said, one of the things I feel works very well is to do the presentation and then have your questions and answers, and that way the people who want to hear the meet, they've heard it, and then they can go if they want to, or they can stay to the questions and answers. And that way the questions and answers haven't sort of become mandatory for everyone to attend. So that works very, very well, I've found. So, when it comes to presenting it, don't get stressed about it. Relax and have fun. It's not stressful. The idea behind it is that you enjoy it, it's a good time, you feel good about it, and that, you enjoy it. The last thing you want to do is to make it really, really stressful, because of course what's going to happen then, it's going to put you off, it's going to impact how you deliver your webinars. So just relax and enjoy it. It's fun. You're going to have a great time talking to all these people and helping them to really become great at whatever it is you're teaching them, and hopefully you'll be making a good number of sales as well from it in whatever you're selling. So just be relaxed, be confident, be professional, and you won't have any problems at all with it. If you're really, really nervous about speaking sort of to an audience like this, then I would recommend you get some training in public speaking. Maybe go to somewhere like Toastmasters International, something like that. They are very inexpensive, but they are a fantastic way to learn public speaking so that you're confident in talking in front of an audience and delivering a webinar. There's groups of it in most areas. There'll be one hopefully within a commutable distance from you. So present your webinar, present it professionally, and you'll do fantastically. You're gonna have a good time with it. You really, really are. Webinars are a lot of fun, and people get a lot from them. So let's move on now, and we're going to start talking about our next topic.